Think your pocket change is just small money? Think again. Today, we're revealing the four Roosevelt dimes that look ordinary but are worth a fortune. These coins are scratched, circulated, and easy to ignore, but hidden rare errors make them worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Don't miss this, because one small dime could change everything. Top 1. The 2007 Roosevelt dime is not supposed to be rare. Millions were minted and released into everyday circulation across the United States. These coins were designed for daily use, passing from one hand to another without much attention. But sometimes, hidden within these ordinary coins, there are rare errors, unique striking characteristics, or unusual features that make them incredibly valuable. Now picture this specific coin. It has been in circulation for years. The surface shows clear scratches from constant use. The edges are slightly worn down, and the once sharp details of Roosevelt's portrait have softened. There is visible damage, and the coin has lost much of its original shine. Yet, despite all of this, it carries something extraordinary, something that collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. One of the biggest reasons behind such a high value is the presence of a rare minting error, or an extremely unusual variation. In some cases, these dimes may have been struck on the wrong metal planchet, or they might display a dramatic off-center strike, double die features, or other minting anomalies that are almost impossible to find. These errors are not supposed to happen, which is exactly why they become so valuable when they do. Another factor is the large date appearance. While it may seem like a small detail, differences in the size, thickness, or style of the date can make a coin stand out significantly. Collectors pay close attention to these details, and when a rare variation is discovered, it can quickly become one of the most sought-after coins in the market. Even in circulated condition, rarity always wins over appearance. Many people believe that only shiny, perfect coins are valuable, but that's not always true. In the world of coin collecting, a heavily worn coin with a unique feature can be far more valuable than a flawless coin that is common. This 2007 Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of that reality. The auction market plays a huge role in determining such values. When collectors compete for a rare coin, the price can skyrocket. Imagine two or more serious collectors recognizing the uniqueness of this dime and bidding against each other. The excitement builds, the price keeps rising, and suddenly, a small 10-cent coin reaches an astonishing value of $400,000. It's also important to understand that coins like this are extremely rare. Not every 2007 dime is valuable. In fact, the vast majority are only worth their face value. The key is identifying the specific features that make a coin special. This could be an unusual weight, a different metal composition, a striking error, or a unique visual detail that sets it apart from the rest. For collectors and treasure hunters, this creates an exciting opportunity. It means that valuable coins could still be hiding in everyday places. Your pocket change, old coin jars, or even coins passed down from family members could hold a hidden gem. All it takes is a careful eye and a bit of knowledge to spot something unusual. This story also reminds us that value is not always obvious. Something that looks damaged or worn out can still be incredibly precious. The scratches, the wear, and the signs of age on this coin are not flaws. They are part of its journey. They tell a story of years spent in circulation, passing through countless hands, until finally being recognized for its true worth. Top 2. The 2022 Roosevelt dime is a modern coin, produced in large numbers and released into circulation across the United States. Millions of these coins were struck, and they continue to pass through hands every single day. Yet hidden among these common pieces are extremely rare variations and minting errors that can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Now picture this specific coin more closely. The surface is not clean or shiny. Instead, it shows clear signs of wear. There are scratches across the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the fine details of his face have started to fade due to circulation. The edges are slightly softened, and there is a dusty appearance that suggests the coin has spent a long time moving through pockets, cash registers, and hands. At first glance, nothing about it seems valuable. But for experienced collectors, these surface details are only a small part of the story. The real value comes from what makes this coin different. In rare cases, coins like the 2022p Roosevelt dime can be struck with unusual errors or unique characteristics. These might include off-center strikes, double die features where the design appears slightly duplicated, or even being struck on the wrong type of metal plancher. Such mistakes happen very rarely during the minting process, and when they do, they create coins that are completely unique. Another important factor is the so-called large date variety. While most people would never notice the difference, collectors pay very close attention to the size, shape, and spacing of the numbers in the date. A slightly larger or differently styled date can indicate a rare variation that was only produced in very limited quantities. When combined with a mint mark from Philadelphia, this can make the coin even more desirable. Even though this coin is in circulated condition, with scratches and visible wear, rarity always outweighs condition in cases like this. Many people think that only perfect uncirculated coins are valuable, but that is not always true. A heavily circulated coin with a rare feature can be worth far more than a flawless coin that is common. This is exactly why a worn 2022p Roosevelt dime can still reach an astonishing value of $390,000. The auction market plays a huge role in determining such high values. When a rare coin appears for sale, collectors from around the world take notice. Bidding can become intense, with multiple collectors competing to own a one-of-a-kind piece. As the bids increase, the price can quickly climb far beyond expectations. What started as a simple 10-cent coin can end up becoming a record-breaking collectible. It's important to understand that not every 2022p dime is valuable. In fact, almost all of them are only worth their face value. The key is identifying the rare features that set a valuable coin apart. This could be a noticeable minting error, an unusual weight, a different metallic composition, or a unique detail in the design that is not seen on regular coins. For anyone watching this means there is always a chance to discover something amazing. Valuable coins are not always locked away in collections or museums. Sometimes they are still out there in everyday circulation, waiting to be found. Your loose change, coin jars, or even coins you receive from a store could hold something incredibly rare. This also changes the way we look at worn and damaged coins. Instead of seeing scratches and dust as flaws, collectors often see them as part of the coin's journey. These marks tell a story of where the coin has been and how it has been used over time. And in some cases, they don't reduce the value at all, especially when the coin has a rare and desirable feature. So the next time you come across a Roosevelt dime, especially a 2022 coin with a P mint mark, take a moment to really look at it. Check the date, examine the details, and pay attention to anything unusual. You might notice something that others have missed. Top 3. The 1996D. Roosevelt dime was produced in large quantities at the Denver Mint and released into circulation like millions of others. These coins were meant to be used in daily transactions, passed along without much attention. Yet, among these millions, a few rare pieces stand out due to extraordinary characteristics that make them highly valuable. Now take a closer look at this specific coin. The portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt shows signs of heavy wear, especially on the high points like the hair and facial features. The surface is scratched, possibly from years of contact with other coins and rough handling. There may be small nicks along the edges, and the overall condition reflects a long journey through circulation. To an untrained eye, it might even seem like a coin that should be discarded or ignored. But collectors see things differently. Beneath the scratches and damage, there may be something extremely rare. Coins like this can sometimes feature minting errors that occurred during production. These errors can include double die impressions, where the design appears slightly duplicated, or off-center strikes that create a misaligned image. In some cases, a coin may even be struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal used is not the standard composition for that denomination. Another key factor that can increase the value is the large date variety. Small differences in the size or style of the numbers in the date can indicate a rare version of the coin. These variations are often difficult to notice without careful examination, but they can significantly impact the coin's desirability among collectors. When such a feature is found on a 1996D Roosevelt dime, it can turn an otherwise common coin into a highly sought-after rarity. Even though this coin is in circulated condition, with visible scratches and damage, its rarity is what truly matters. In the world of numismatics, a rare error or unique feature can outweigh the effects of wear and tear. This is why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for coins that may not look perfect but are incredibly hard to find. The auction market is where these coins truly reveal their value. When a rare piece like this appears at auction, it attracts serious collectors who understand its significance. Bidding can become intense, with participants competing to secure a one-of-a-kind item. As the bids increase, the price can rise dramatically, sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is how a simple 10-cent coin can achieve a value of around 410,000 links. Important to remember that not every 1996D Roosevelt dime is valuable. Most of them are still worth only their face value. The challenge lies in identifying the specific features that make a coin special. This could include unusual design details, errors in the minting process, or other characteristics that set it apart from standard coins. For collectors and enthusiasts, this creates a sense of excitement and possibility. Valuable coins are not always locked away in collections or discovered in rare coin shops. Sometimes they are still out there, in everyday circulation, waiting to be found. A coin received as change from a store or found in an old jar could potentially be worth a fortune. This also changes the way we think about worn and damaged coins. Instead of seeing scratches and imperfections as flaws, they can be seen as part of the coin's history. Each mark tells a story of where the coin has been and how it has been used. And in some cases, these marks do not reduce the value at all, especially when the coin has a rare and desirable feature. So the next time you come across a Roosevelt dime, especially one from 1996 with a D mint mark, take a moment to examine it closely. Look at the date, the mint mark, and the overall design. Pay attention to anything unusual, no matter how small it may seem. Top 4. The 1991D Roosevelt dime was produced in massive numbers at the Denver Mint and released into circulation across the United States. Millions of these coins were made, and most of them are still only worth their face value today. However, hidden among these common coins are extremely rare variations and minting errors that can transform an ordinary piece into a collector's dream. Now take a closer look at this particular coin. The portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt shows heavy wear, especially on the high points, like the hair and cheek. Scratches are visible across the surface, and there may be small dents or marks along the edges. The coin has clearly been through years of circulation, passing from one person to another, used in countless transactions. Its damaged condition might make it seem unimportant, but in the world of numismatics, appearance is not everything. The true value of a coin like this comes from what makes it unique. In rare cases, a 1991 Roosevelt dime may feature a minting error or an unusual characteristic that sets it apart from the rest. These errors can include double die strikes, where parts of the design appear duplicated, or off-center strikes that create a misaligned image. Some coins may even be struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal used is not what is normally intended for a dime. These kinds of mistakes are extremely rare, and that rarity is what drives the value so high. Another important detail is the large date variety. While it may not be obvious at first glance, slight differences in the size or style of the numbers in the date can indicate a rare version of the coin. Collectors pay very close attention to these details, and when a unique variation is discovered, it can quickly become one of the most sought-after pieces in the market. A 1991 D-dime with a noticeable large date feature can stand out significantly among millions of regular coins. Even though this coin is in circulated condition with scratches and visible damage, its rarity is what truly matters. Many people assume that only coins in perfect mint condition are valuable, but that is not always the case. In fact, a rare coin with heavy wear can still be worth far more than a flawless coin that is common. This is why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for coins like this one. The auction market is where these values come to life. When a rare coin appears for sale, collectors from around the world take notice. Bidding can become highly competitive, with multiple buyers trying to secure a unique piece. As the bidding continues, the price can rise dramatically, sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is how a simple 10-cent coin can achieve an incredible value of 420,000 links. Important to understand that not every 1991 Roosevelt dime is valuable. The vast majority are still only worth their face value. The key is identifying the specific features that make a coin rare. This could include unusual design elements, minting errors, or other characteristics that are not found on standard coins. For collectors and everyday people alike, this creates a sense of excitement and possibility. Valuable coins are not always found in museums or private collections. Sometimes they are still out there in circulation, waiting to be discovered. A coin received as change or found in an old jar could potentially be worth a fortune. This also changes the way we look at worn and damaged coins. Instead of seeing scratches and imperfections as flaws, they can be seen as part of the coin's history. Each mark tells a story of where the coin has been and how it has been used over time. And in some cases, these marks do not reduce the value at all, especially when the coin has a rare and desirable feature. So the next time you come across a Roosevelt dime, especially a 1991 coin with a D mint mark, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look at the date, check the mint mark, and pay attention to any unusual details. You might notice something that others have overlooked.